Patrick DiNicola here, owner and founder of Live Plena and sleep expert. I'm here today to talk to you about a very powerful thing that we tend to ignore in our society, and I dub this the sunlight solution. Now, what I hope for you to gain in today's presentation is tools to greatly utilize the sun and energy that comes from the sun to achieve your wildest dreams and to create greater energy and focus throughout the day. So why? Well, we are creatures of energy. We are a species of shortcuts. Our bodies are constantly looking to store and save energy we have moving throughout our body. With more energy, we can accomplish more, do more, feel better, and more fulfilled. And with little or low energy, those things we are striving to achieve become extremely tenuous, very hard to finish, and most of the time get left undone. So we are extreme adapters at storing and utilizing the energy that we get from multiple sources throughout the day. With our technological improvements, we now need to do the least amount of work in order to gain the greatest amount of energy in the history of the human species. We have access to sugary, processed foods, high-calorie foods, which our brains actually associate with tasting better because of that instant gratification of energy, that liberation of energy. We also know that with more energy, we can accomplish more, we can do more. Nikola Tesla was famous in saying that with more energy, we can reach higher levels of operating power for our consciousness, thus allowing it to expand and grow in new and powerful ways. So all the things that you hope to accomplish in life, all the goals that you have, all the dreams that you wish to fulfill really comes down to whether or not you have the consistent energy to accomplish those goals. So now, why is energy so important? What are we made of? So we just talked a little bit about how energy is really what we are made out of. Now this slide here shows it in a little bit more in depth. As you begin to shrink down under the microscope and look at the subatomic world, the realm of the quantum, you realize that 99.99% of what we see as physical solid matter is actually pure potential energy, and that most of existence is just energy moving and shifting, and that only 0.001% of visible matter is actually real, right? So we are pure potential energy. And this little photo here on the left is of Kirlian photography. It's just a certain wavelength of perception that we can have access through technology to see a literal light spectrum of a human hand. So it's pretty crazy, but we are energy. And the sun is the true source of that energy. So cool things happen when the sun hits our skin. The sun liberates a molecule in our blood called nitric oxide. This is a vasodilator. It expands our blood vessels and immediately reduces blood pressure and increases the likelihood of receiving nutrients to the body. So blood flows more easily, helping the blood reach more closely to the skin. And as the blood gets closer to the skin, something really cool starts to happen. Turns out our hemoglobin, which is very similar to chlorophyll, hemoglobin is the human version of chlorophyll in a lot of senses. And it acts in a lot of the same ways. Very recently, in the past 10 years or less, we have understood now that the hemoglobin actually can absorb the UV and red light spectrum from the sun. It then so the hemoglobin then goes into the mitochondria of the cell, and as the mitochondria of the cell receives this hemoglobin, the hemoglobin brings the oxygen into the mitochondria, which improves the efficiency of the mitochondria. The mitochondria is this little tiny power plant that we have within our cell that transforms fat and sugar into energy. And so by introducing the hemoglobin that is radiated with light it actually increases the efficiency of the mitochondria function. And so the light begins to introduce into this power plant, into the cells and the proteins of the mitochondria, to then thus create a greater efficient engine, if you will, in creating energy. So on the right here is the traditional belief system when it comes to, how plants take in sunlight, use chlorophyll to turn it into sugar, and then we then eat the plant, and that's how we most know getting energy is from the food we eat and the things we drink. But there is an actual effect on the skin and the cells of the body from direct sunlight. So as you increase your sunlight exposure, you're actually optimizing the sort of power plants of the cells. And so as you increase and optimize the power plants of the cells, you then have access to more energy because your cells are now producing more energy in a more efficient manner. Other than that, sunlight has many remarkable benefits to the body. Over here on the left here, you can see reduces risk of type 2 diabetes, prevents vitamin D deficiency, reduces cancer, blood pressure, improves mood, improves sleep. Sleep is entirely important when it comes to sunlight. Improves eye health, can cure depression, better bone health, helps improve brain function. Another cool thing and I know this is important to college kids, to you guys out there grinding, really learning and trying to build businesses and whatever it is that you're trying to do, we're workout machines. I know that when I was 22 years old, 23 years old, and in my young 20s, that was when I was in the gym most consistently and really diving into a lot of supplements to help improve my fitness and improve how much muscle I could gain. And so what we learned earlier is that nitric oxide is released when the skin is close to the sun and absorbing the sunlight. And nitric oxide, for those of you who are gym warriors, nitric oxide is a vasodilator and helps give you that pumped up feeling, that feeling like your muscles are really growing, really expanding, and your veins start popping out, right? So it then correlates or follows the train of thought that getting some sunlight right before a workout actually helps your workout. It helps the nitric oxide to be liberated into the blood, which allows for you to receive more blood into the muscles and thus improving your workout and improving your efficiency in the workout itself. Now, over here I have, it's important in dilating the blood, more efficiently transporting the cells, the nutrients to the cells, generating healthier cells and more efficient energy expression. But then it also has greater muscular and cardiovascular performance and endurance and recovery correlations. So as we begin to understand the power that the sun has, understand that you can utilize it as an actual tool to not only improve your performance mentally in school or in business, but also to improve your workouts, your runs, or any sort of fitness goals that you're seeking to accomplish. So one of the most important parts of the sun is the fact that our bodies are always in a rhythm. We have rhythms to which we follow. And the circadian rhythm is one of the biggest examples of that. So on the right here, you have a generalized version of the circadian rhythm. So all of us understand the circadian rhythm to a minimal amount of degree. So I'm not going to get too in depth on it. It's pretty self-explanatory. But one thing to note is that not all circadian rhythms operate exactly the same. There are environmental factors that must be considered. Obviously, if you're someone who sleeps until 2 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to stop producing melatonin at 7:30. Yeah, it might happen an hour later or 2 hours later, just because, again, this person is going to bed at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So their deepest sleep portion is at 2 a.m. That might not be the same for you. So it's important to take an inventory of when you feel energized or not, if you wake up feeling great or groggy, and the times that all these occurrences are happening, so that you can tune into your own specific circadian rhythm, right? Because again, this clock shifts depending on when you go to bed, when you wake up, what your natural inclinations are, all these different factors. So to really use the circadian rhythm and the sun as a tool, you got to take inventory of what is your energy levels and when you feel most energized and least energized, and then map it on this clock, so that you can see some people have real lull times at 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Some people have lull times at 3 or 4. Some people have it before noon. And again, it depends on the individual person. Here 2:30 p.m. is best coordination, fastest reaction time. So if you're someone who wakes up right here at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, then it might make sense for you to do your time testing or any sort of thing that requires coordination and fast reaction time. It might make sense for you to see if that is a good time for you to do that. So we're utilizing the circadian rhythm and the sun as a tool to increase our performance. Again, we want to get sunlight as soon as we wake up, because what that does is it actually signals to the body melatonin production, not secretion, but production. So if you wait all day to get sunlight, you're not going to have as much melatonin late into the day when you need melatonin to help you fall asleep. Melatonin is the sleep-inducing hormone. So melatonin production actually starts with the first light of the day if you get that sunlight to start the day. If you don't get that sunlight to start the day and the first sunlight you get is, let's say, at noon, then the melatonin production that you're going to need for sleep will be less. And so the sleep will be interrupted, and then you might not wake up feeling the best. So takeaways, main takeaways from all of this. We are made of energy. When our energy is low, we perform worse. When our energy is high, we perform better. Food is a most abundant source of energy, and how wisely we choose our food affects the quality and expression of our energy. It is certainly preferable to raise vegetables, and I think that, therefore, that vegetarianism is a commendable departure from the established barbarous habit, that we can subsist on plant foods and perform our work even to an advantage is no theory but a well-demonstrated fact. Many races living almost exclusively on vegetables are superior in physique and strength. There is no doubt that such plant food, such as oatmeal, is more economical than meat, and it is superior in both mechanical and mental performance. Nikola Tesla. So humans have systems in place to obviously take all of the energy from plants and animals and turn that into our needed energy. But we also now are aware of the benefits and the actual cellular benefits that direct sunlight can cause to the body. So utilize the sun as a recharger. If you're feeling low in energy, get out into the sun. See if that changes your energy state just for a little bit. Again, you want to increase the efficiency of your energy metabolism so that you can therefore have more energy and achieve more. I hope that this has been an excellent presentation for you. It's been my great pleasure to bring this information and knowledge to you today. Again, my name is Patrick D. Nicola. You can find me on Instagram at PatZenSleep. I also have my website, liveplena.com. I am a sleep efficiency expert. I help entrepreneurs and high performers 3 times their energy, focus, and productivity on autopilot as they sleep. The sun is very important. Learn to use it. Learn to use it towards your betterment. And thank you. Have a great day. Real Driven Community, it's been a pleasure.